Welcome into the 6A Football Award Show on KSL Sports Rewind. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart, as always, presented by Heidemann and Associates.
Yeah, and if you need a good friend to talk about high school sports with, Heidemann Associates is there for you. Now, they're even better at talking legal problems. If you got something going on, you want to establish a business, or you got some litigation you got to take care of, the experts at Heidemann Associates will take care of you. And they'll even give you a free consultation if you tell them that Rewind sent you. All you got to do is call 801-754-4240 to meet the best friend you'll ever have.
Yeah, and he's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
He really is. He's a great friend. And in fact, we're here at Western Governors University, just like our basketball award show last year, but on the main campus in the cafeteria. Look, you get done on your own time, your own pace at Western Governors University, but if you come on campus, you also have a cafeteria.
Yeah.
It's all set up too. So great space here off of 39th South and 7th East in Mill Creek. Go check it out. Go to wgu.edu. Learn how to get a one-year MBA. And certainly want to thank them for hosting our award show here for football. All right, let's get right into it. 6A Football Award Show. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to our 6A Offensive Player of the Year. All right, here with our 6A Offensive Player of the Year, Tate Kerr, who joins the illustrious crew of the Wilsons, the Hagens, the Kerrs, and the Skinks. Are the only brothers to all win awards. And you got one up on Noah because it was the COVID year. We couldn't do plaques that year, so he only has a digital version of it.
But it's the first trio now. First trio, because Papa.
Oh, right.
So
Dad's a two-time Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
How about that? So when you think back now on the lineage you're part of, Tate, I mean, how awesome was this season for you?
It was fun. It was super fun. Didn't end the way we wanted it, obviously, but it was super fun. I was really happy about it.
When you hit the ground, I don't want to bring up bad memories, but we were talking about it walking up here. When you hit the ground, what went through your head? Because would you think, hey, I'm going to come back? What was going on in your mind?
Well, I've dove in for balls before and nothing really happened, but I felt like a pop when I landed, and I thought it would just go away after a couple of seconds, so I kind of stood up to walk, and then it just kept on hurting. And then the ref just told me to go down, so I just sat down. And then they pulled me to the sideline, and I was like, oh, I think I'll be good. And they're doing tests on it and stuff to see if I could raise it, and I could barely do it. And I couldn't push against anything, so they told me I was done. Just sent me in the locker room.
So Tate, I don't really know how to ask this question, but tell us, what's the secret? I mean, obviously, I tease a little bit, right? But your brother was a great receiver. You had a fantastic year this year at Corner Canyon, and broke school records. But I mean, what is it about this offense that's so fun or that's so dynamic for you to play in?
I don't know. Just the route concepts that he brings up and makes obviously helps a lot. Having Isaac at QB helps a lot too. Obviously, our O-line giving Isaac time to throw it helps. And then even in the off season doing track and lifting and stuff just every day helps with speed and strength and stuff. So that's what I would say helps the most probably.
What were your expectations coming into the year? Because I know someone who was here kind of set up a pretty good standard for you on some radio show, but what were your expectations coming in your first year starting?
I didn't think I was going to do as good as I thought I did, that's for sure. But I don't know. I was hoping I'd get more yards than Noah. His senior season obviously didn't happen, so I have to work on that next year. But the receptions, I don't even know what goal I really had, 75 receptions or something. Obviously past that. I didn't think I was going to have nearly as many touchdowns as I thought I did, so it was awesome. My goal was to get a touchdown every game, which I almost did. I think West was the only one I didn't, so yeah.
When you think back on this year, I mean, you guys, early on in the year, you go down, take on Gorman. I think the first time you guys have played an out-of-state team. Obviously, the Lehigh game, that's a tough one, but you guys still, win Region 4, make a big run again to a state championship game. I know you came up short, but when you think back on this year, what's kind of that memory for you when you think back on this particular season?
I don't know. Going down to Gorman as a team was super fun. Just the whole experience, playing there and stuff, playing against some good athletes really helped. I feel like as a team to realize just picking up and playing together as a team, we kind of just bonded better after that loss. And then same with Lehigh, after that loss, we kind of just all came together and got our season really going. So I'd say probably one of those two moments really helped us.
You don't have to, well, I'm going to ask you the question. Did that give your dad big eyes for the future weight room at Corner Canyon?
For the losses?
No, the Gorman weight room and center down there.
I wish we had a weight room like that. Our weight room's so tiny compared to theirs. I hope we get a bigger weight room.
There you go.
Yeah, there's the plug.
Yeah.
Okay, last fun one. Who was more concerned on the sideline, your dad or grandpa?
Hutch, easily. Easily.
Uncle Dusty was worried too, but Hutch, I could tell.
Oh, yeah. He was like, it took me everything not to run out there and help you or something. It was so funny. That's all. And then he was just like checking up on me like every 5 minutes to make sure I was okay. So it was definitely him. I don't even know if I really talked to him about it at the game.
You talked about your goals for this year, and not to give other teams bulletin board materials, but how do you top this year? I mean, 19 receiving touchdowns, I believe, led the state, second in yards, second in receptions, obviously program record. What's your goal for next year?
At least 2,000 yards, or I guess beat Noah's record his senior year. And then, like 22 touchdowns, I'm hoping. And then like receptions, let's go 150 for receptions. 150.
150.
All right,
I
there
like
we go.
it. That would take good care of taking back the reception record from Crew Erickson.
Yeah.
And then who gets more state medals this summer? You or your twin sister, Addie?
Oh, me. Easier. Me. I'm beating her by like double.
Gauntlet is thrown. Cody Hagan laid out the track one last year, too.
D-Hags.
But our 2022 6A Offensive Player of the Year, Take Care. The first, and I'm glad you caught this, the first three.
Yeah.
Eric Care, Noah Care, and now Take Care, all with Rewind Awards.
We joke they have more award plaques than they do family pictures hanging out.
And they agree.
And they do. Look, it was an interesting year in 6A offensively, right? You think of some of the great quarterbacks we've had in recent years. A lot of them are underclassmen this year, so it was kind of like, man, what do we do with this? And we're kind of sitting up at Rice Eccles like, what do you do? And then Take Care gets hurt, and it's like, that's your offensive player of the year because that offense and look, Isaac Wilson and Drew Patterson and others tried to do as much as they could to keep Corner Kane in that game. They did a great job, but you saw how that offense changed when Take Care was not on the field. And we joked about, Take Care beginning of the year. It's no joke, folks. He is a dynamic weapon. And, you talk about, hey, what's the secret? And, I think 4 of his 5 answers were not football related.
Yeah.
This is a year-round dedicated kid. And obviously, his dad being the football coach probably helps with that a little bit. But young man, second in receiving yards this year, was number 1 in receiving touchdowns, up there in receiving yards per game. And he had over 110 in an 8-game stretch. He had over 110 yards receiving in 7 of those 8 games. So, look, had a really fantastic year. Obviously, the injury in the state championship was not what Corner Canyon fans wanted, not what he wanted. Looks like he'll be back and strong, which is good news for the Chargers. But, man, it was a fantastic year for Take Care, and Isaac Wilson has himself a really stellar receiver coming back next year.
All right, let's get to our defensive side of the football. Here's our 6A Defensive Player of the Year. Here with our 6A Defensive Player of the Year, Smith Snowden of the state champion Skyridge Falcons. How sweet is it for you to still hear that? First one ever in school history. You're part of it. You're a key cog in that whole thing. How good does that feel?
It feels really good. Honestly, it's still a really surreal moment because just thinking back on and just having that team success that we did is just a really awesome thing for me.
Smith, you're kind of an island corner. You're kind of like, look, I'm taking away third of the field, half the field. What is that like to just know that it's on me to just shut this down?
Yeah, it takes a lot of confidence, and I know playing corner, you're going to get beat sometimes, and it's just leaving that play in the past and just having a short-term memory to everything that happened in the past, even if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Then I guess the next part is, how do you stay in the game? Because you think that Bingham game, right? They're marching right down the field doing exactly what they wanted to do until they don't.
Yeah.
Walk us through that play. What's your mentality when you see that? What were your keys? What were you reading? And then just walk us through the elation and going up the sideline.
Yeah, Bingham, they've put up a really good drive that first drive. I know the Skyridge defense, we were all kind of trying to figure out something to do to stop them because they were marching on the field. And I think we were just waiting for that first thing to just click. And I think right when I saw them throw the ball, I knew that a big play was going to happen if that was for me or one of my teammates.
This was a year, we talk about state championship, obviously, but it's been a Skyridge program that's been right on the cusp of regions and of state, getting to Rice Eccles. What was it like to be part of that group that finally got over the couple hurdles this season for the program?
Yeah, you're talking about hurdles. We had, thinking back on the season, I think we had a couple of hurdles just with injuries and just people having to step up, and I think everyone stepped up and did their job, their 111, and just being in the region as Corner Canyon, American Fork, Lone Peak, and Pleasant Grove, all those schools, just it's a tough region, and just being able to overpass those teams this year, it was awesome.
You know, I learned something this year. That was that Coach Lehman's known you since you were 3 years old.
Yep.
How fun is that? And I saw he was with you when you made your announcement going to University of Utah. How fun is it to have someone that you've known literally your entire life be the guy on the sideline?
Yeah, it's awesome. So Coach Lehman, he coached both my older brothers as well. So just having him coach me and have the success that I've had, it's an awesome moment.
Smith, what was it about Utah? So intriguing, the opportunity. Obviously, everyone knows you're going to be a Ute, but what was it about that opportunity that excites you?
Yeah, I think it was an opportunity I really couldn't pass up. I think Utah is really on the come up right now. They're playing in the Rose Bowl on the January 2nd, and I think they're just a couple steps closer to hopefully competing for a national championship, and that's definitely a goal of mine.
Well, a guy that put in the work for 3 years, 4 years. What am I thinking, man? Been a long time. You running track this summer?
Yes, I am.
You gonna break the state record? You gonna go get Cody Hagen's?
I think so. That's my goal. That's my goal. I was actually planning on graduating early and enrolling at Utah this January, but I think I have some unfinished business on the track, and that's always been a goal of mine to get the state record. So I think that's what I want to do.
Love that. Cody Hagen had said the same thing last year, so it's gonna be awesome. We wish nothing but health to you, man, and so excited to watch you grow. And hey, why not? Next, Jalen Johnson could be sitting right next to us, and so many other guys. So congratulations, Smith.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Smith Snowden, our 6A Defensive Player of the Year. This was one that was, first of all, on our poll.
No doubt.
And may our poll, just as a reminder, is not the only thing that goes into this, but by far and away, Smith Snowden.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even have to put a poll for this one, right? I think this was by far and away, as you just said, the 6A Defensive Player of the Year. And talk about him being on an island. I don't know if that's how their scheme was, but it certainly felt that way. It was like, hey, we know Smith's going to take away half of the field. Now we got 10 guys to defend the other half. That's what made this Skyridge defense really difficult. And I love you asked him the question about the semifinal, because he had those kinds of plays all year where it's like, boom. You think about the Lone Peak game, boom, right? I mean, he made big plays when his team needed him. And it wasn't always in defense. Sometimes it was special teams. But, man, Smith, multi-year starter, knew this was going to be a big year for him. Obviously paid off with his commitment to the U. Fantastic year for him. And this is a guy that had 6 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, almost had as many picks as pass deflections, which is pretty remarkable, considering that he doesn't get the ball thrown his way. If you're going to attack number 3, it's probably going to go the other way. Yeah. And that was just how it was for Skyridge. And he was the anchor of that defense as a corner. Very rare, but, man, fantastic year and a great career for Smith Snowden.
You know, in the Lone Peak game was that game, like, this kid's getting an award, right? He gave up a touchdown pass, comes back down 30-10.
Yeah.
Gets kickoff return for a touchdown and flips that game and gets things going. I mean, this is a guy that gets things done. I'm super excited to watch what he does up on the hill. Bright future ahead of Smith Snowden. But I love that he says, I have unfinished business. He didn't graduate early because he wants to break the state 100-meter record.
That's a mentality, man, huh?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm out.
That's an alpha recruit.
Yeah. There you go.
Free plug.
See what you did there.
All right, from defense, let's get to our guy that maybe we didn't talk enough about, our most unheralded player of the year. Here with our 6A most unheralded player of the year, Carson Sudbury of the Bingham Miners. Man, now, I've got to explain what this award is to you. So this is a guy that maybe should have gotten more attention than what he got throughout the season, but man, super impressed. What was different with this year's Bingham squad, maybe from your previous 2?
We didn't have a lot of experience coming through. We just had a couple returning starters, but yeah, not a lot of experience. But I thought we came out great, showed that we deserved to be there.
Carson, you know, Bingham back to Rice-Eccles Stadium, feels like it's been a while since that happened, but been a while since you guys had beat Riverton. A couple regular season losses to Riverton. What was that like to this year get back on the winning side of that rivalry?
Oh, it felt great. We actually had a quote in our room from Twitter that they posted after the second time they beat us about how Riverton football owns Bingham, and so every day in the weight room we saw that. So it was always motivating us. So it was a game we actually really looked forward to, so it felt really good to beat those guys.
You know, in your time, you get to play for the legend Dave Peck, who built Bingham, right? And then, you know, he leaves, moves back, goes back to do his thing, and then Coach Jones comes in. What was different with Coach Jones this year, maybe from Coach Peck? Not that there's anything better, but what's just that different feel?
Honestly, I would compare the two to be really alike. They had a lot of the same standards, a lot of the same energy. Both really great guys, good coaches, loved them both. So I wouldn't say anything bad, but just all good things about them.
All right, now one of the things Coach Jones told me, brought something a little bit different to your guys' program, custom helmet stickers. Yeah. So you got to tell me, what was your custom helmet sticker, and what was the favorite one for the team?
So we had actually a couple. We had a lot for position groups. I had a Heisman on the back of mine. I had a bomb, and I had what was it? A T for Tongans. My favorite one was definitely the bomb sticker. It was the kicker sticker. I'd always be kicking field goals during practice, and so that was definitely my favorite one.
So tell me back on this year, you made a bunch of big plays, and it seemed like when a big play was needed, if it's a fly sweep, finding the out of the backfield or anything else, it was you. What is the highlight reel play? As you're going to sleep, thinking back on high school, maybe your senior year, what's the play?
Most definitely the one at Rice Eccles right before halftime. Just a little scramble play from Dallin, making a crazy throw to a spin move, dive into the end zone. Definitely a play that I think about all the time.
That's a good memory.
That is a good memory.
That's a really good memory. What's next for Carson Sudbury?
Just off-season grind. Looking forward to the next season. Just trying to get better every day.
Awesome. Carson, our 6A most unheralded player of the year. Carson Sudbury. And there's another thing, too. You remember, got one more year with Carson Sudbury.
Yeah.
This kid became an ultimate weapon for Freddie Fernandez.
It's crazy when you look at what Carson did this year. Let me just give you some numbers, okay? This is a little crazy.
Let's hit you with some knowledge.
750 rushing yards, 751. 13 rushing touchdowns, okay? Multiple games, over 100 yards rushing. 594 yards receiving. 6 receiving touchdowns. Multiple games, over 100 yards receiving. 336 kickoff return yards, average 37 yards per return. That's a big number for kickoff returns. By the way, finished with over 130 yards per game. So great balance, but would impact the game in slanted ways seemingly every week. It was like, oh, we'll take him away on the ground. Great, I'll burn you in the air. Or we're going to take him away in the air. All right, I'll just run over you. This guy was an ultimate weapon for Bingham this year, and it was one of the big reasons why they got back to Rice Eccles. And man, if you're Coach Jones and Coach Fernandez, and you got a guy like Carson Sudbury, yeah, you're going to utilize him. And it was impressive the way they did this year. Again, multifaceted. Loved the way they got him the ball in the flat, and obviously run with him. Man, it was an impressive year for he and Bingham. They got back to the top of Region 3. Love that he talked about that, but they got their sights set on bigger goals, and we'll see if he is a senior next year can help deliver that for Bingham. But Bingham's back, and Carson Sudbury going to be a name to watch.
You know why he's most unheralded? Because we didn't talk about this from another award winner under Freddie Fernandez that played the same role.
Yeah.
Kate Harris.
Yeah.
And that guy's absolutely been great for Air Force, and that's with Carson's same role. It's absolutely outstanding. I didn't put it together until this. That's kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of sad. Dusty, come on.
That's why he's unheralded, right?
It is. It fit it perfectly.
Yeah.
He and crew. Eric, so go watch our 5A award video,
Yeah.
too. All right, from those players to our coaches, let's go to our 6A Coach of the Year. And first of all, Coach Daniel Coates, the head coach of the Farmington Phoenix. We'd love to have Coach Coates here. He planned on being here, had a family situation come up. He had to be with his family tonight, wouldn't be able to get this all worked out. But he's very, very excited. I got a chance to talk to him and break the news to him that he's going to be our Coach of the Year. Made my heart smile that Coach Coates was as excited as Robbie Gunner.
I'll tell you, we got to interview Coach Coates last year when we went up to Farmington, and man, this is a guy who, man, he loves the game, right? And you talk about an ideal role model for young men, it's Coach Daniel Coates. And I mean, a team that had a lot of expectations. Region play didn't quite get off the way that they maybe thought it would. Or it didn't finish, right? And man, then they come into the state tournament and they grit it together. I mean, this is a group that they lost their starting running back midway through the year. He was kind of the main cog in that offense, and now we got to pivot a little bit. And you talk about Easton White stepping up, having more on his shoulders. You have the tight end, Mitch, who had a fantastic year this year for Farmington. And then you had youngsters burst on the scene. You look at Runyon, was one of the top interception guys in the state this year. 9 interceptions on the year. His development is just a sophomore. He's got a couple more years with Coach Coates. It was an impressive job by Farmington, a team that had a lot of expectation on it. They and Syracuse kind of that Region 1 favorite, but then, man, they overcome the injuries. They get to Rice Eccles for the first time in program history. And look, I mean, it was a spectacular year, and the job he did kind of navigating the course of the year through difficulties and through injuries and all that is why he's here is our Coach of the Year and did a phenomenal job for the Phoenix.
Yeah, just been spectacular. And all that, he's Mr. Football. So he's Mr. Football and Coach of the Year. Our first one of those.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And we'll just remind you, Coach of the Year doesn't always go to the state championship. Coach Lehman did a fantastic job, and we talked about
Coach Lehman. We keep saying Lehman because Tom Lehman. Yeah, it's Lehman.
He's so nice. He never corrects us.
No, ever.
Coach Lehman. Look, his last year finally gets Skyridge to the state championship. We went back and forth on that one, And he had to navigate some things as well
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Skyridge. You talk about injuries, them hitting the ultimate objective. But for us, when we looked at it, you look at other football awards for Coach of the Year, not always to the championship coach. Sometimes it's just, who does the best with what they had and had to work with and expectations, and gave a slight edge to Coach Coates. But, man, Coach Lehman did a phenomenal job this year as well, was in that conversation. Coach Coates just getting the nod in that one.
Kind of falls up because Coach Lehman was our Coach of the Year 2017 when they lost state championship game because we saw it. But, hey, didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
And for Daniel Coates, we thought, hey, could. And at the end of the year when they stumble, like, well, that team could have fallen apart.
Yes.
And they did not. And they came back and we had a lead in the second half against Corner Canyon before the punt return for a touchdown by Brighton.
They had a lot of people scared.
Yes, they
I'll
did.
tell you this.
And they came out and played.
Yes,
man.
they did.
And that to me is they got every inch out of his team that he could, and goes down to just a better team that day. But Coach Coates did an outstanding job, and that's why he's our Coach of the Year. But congratulations to all of our 6A award winners. Go check out our 5A awards as well. Find out who Mr. Rewind is too. And then our rule is coming out too. The guys outside 5A and 6A. But for Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us. And from joining us from Western Governors University, I want to thank them for hosting us, and for also McGee's trophies, Stamp and Trophies, for taking care of our trophies so quickly for us as well. But for Vince Francis, Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching the Rewind Award Show in the 6A classification.